sense of helplessness that people feel, I know the urge to arm yourself, because that's what I did.
I believe in the Second Amendment, and I believe that people should have the right to own firearms.
Barack Obama supports gun rights, our right to defend ourselves, the Second Amendment. That's the truth.
Isn't it funny how quickly politicians are ready to speak up and declare their support for our Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms? But what does that actually mean, to support the Second Amendment? For some, it simply means filling out an NRA questionnaire and checking the right box. For others, it may mean speaking at a rally or including a talking point or two on their campaign website. But is that really supporting the Second Amendment? During this legislative session, we have seen more gun bills introduced than any two-year session previously. At last count, there were more than 70 measures in the California State Legislature that in one way or another addressed firearms. So anybody want to guess how many were pro-gun? 5. That's right, despite the numerous members of the California Legislature who claim to support the Second Amendment, only 5 bills were introduced to protect those rights. And 2 of those measures were introduced by the same member, Assemblyman Tim Donnelly. The only other members to introduce pro-gun bills were Assemblyman Brian Jones, along with State Senators Gene Fuller and Steve Knight. Now, that's not to say that others didn't vote against bad bills. Plenty of them did. But is merely playing defense really enough to call yourself pro-gun? I don't care what the sport, it is impossible to win by only playing defense. Simply voting no on bad bills is not enough to win this war for our civil rights. The time has come for us to demand that anyone who claims to be pro-gun or a supporter of the Second Amendment put their bill package where their mouth is and commit to introducing pro-gun legislation. So here's what we're going to ask you to do. We're going to ask you to call your assemblyman, call your state senator, or those running for those offices, and ask them what bills they've introduced to help us take back our Second Amendment rights here in California. And if they haven't introduced any, then demand that they commit to do so. Now, I'll be honest with you. It's too late to introduce new legislation for this year, but it's never too early to get their commitment for next year. And this being an election year, you can bet they know you're watching. It's time for us to simply stop playing defense. That time is over. It's time to go on offense in the fight for our Second Amendment rights. I'm Craig DeLuz, and I want to thank you for joining us.